Good morning, everyone. Myself, Manoranjan Behera. I belong to Indian Revenue Services 2018 batch. Currently posted as Assistant Commissioner of Income Tax in Hyderabad. First of all, I'd like to thank APTI PLUS for giving me this opportunity to interact with students on the topic of how to maintain consistency in UPSC examination. So before starting the session, I really hope that you guys are doing well in this pandemic. I know it has been tough last year for every one of us because of COVID-19, and also especially for the ones who are preparing this examination because of the uncertainty in timings and etc. And already the examination have been delayed to October, PRELIMS examination. So, but still we can't do much about it. It's not in our hands. So I just hope you guys are preparing well for the upcoming prelims. Those who are appearing this year and those who are appearing next year, then also I hope that they've already started their preparation well. So now we'll proceed towards the topic. The topic is how to maintain consistency in UPSC examination. So first of all, I'd like to, I'll take a few minutes to discuss what is consistency. What do you mean? What do I mean by consistency in UPSC examination? Consistency is basically maintaining discipline, maintaining the focused approach throughout your preparation phase. You know that UPSC examination is a year-long process. It's a marathon kind of sort. If I draw an analogy between a sports event, then it's a marathon or a cricket test match, which goes on for a long period of time. So you have to show that resilience, you have to show that mental aptitude, you have to show that mental toughness, and also you have to show that perseverance and patience. In fact, as you would know, and as everyone knows, that this examination, there is no guarantee you will clear it within 1 year also, in the first attempt also. It can take like 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 years also. You don't know how much time it will take to clear this examination. So it becomes a very challenging job to maintain consistency over a long period of time. Because as you know, there would be phases of peaks, there will be phases of lows. Like consider this as a sinusoidal wave. Like there will be peaks, there will be lows. So you will be going across all these things, all these phases. And so it becomes a challenge to maintain the consistency in in the examination throughout the whole preparation time. So today I would be discussing on the various aspects of how to, what are the challenges that we generally face, the realities of the examination, the challenges we face, and certain solution from my side, from my own experiences, from my own perspective. So, well, as I already told you, what do I mean by consistency? So first of all, I would like to start with certain realities regarding the examination. See, this examination has certain realities that you have to always keep in mind. You are writing for UPSC examination. You must be thinking, oh yes, if I get this service, I will be, related to prestigious civil services, and which are challenges on daily to daily basis. But to clear that examination, to get those services, you need to pass a very rigorous test of UPSC. It's a very rigorous test. It's challenging on the mental aspect of the person. So reality number one. What is the reality number one? Reality number one is, as I told you already, this is a year-long process. This is a marathon. You can't win this in a month or two. It takes a lot of time. So if you have any notion that that, or you might be thinking I have to clear this in 1 year. That's a good thing that you want to clear within 1 year. Everyone wants to clear this in first attempt. But just throughout the notion and from your mind that if you don't clear this in 1 year, your whole life will be devastated and all. Always be prepared for the worst case. Even when you join the services, you will realize that doesn't matter which service you get, IAS, IPS, IRS, or any other services, you will realize one thing. that your challenges, I mean, you might not be successful all the time. You would be facing failure again and again. So if you get depressed by just not by clearing this examination in your first attempt, then I'm sorry to say, but it's very good. It's going to be very difficult for you to survive in the service itself, even if you eventually clear this examination. So my point is, you always have to keep that in mind. Okay, fine. You want to clear in the first attempt? That's fine. That's good enough. That's good enough. But at the same time, you just have to keep in your mind that it might go haywire. The preparation might go wrong. Something might go wrong, and you might not clear this examination in the first attempt. So always be prepared for the worst case. That it can go up to 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. And even in that 1 year also, even if you eventually clear in the first attempt, even in that 1 year also, you always have to remember one thing. In that 1 year process, you will be facing many challenges. Because as I told you, you're preparing for an examination which will give you a lot of job satisfaction out of your job by giving you a lot of challenges. But the process to get into the services is a very tedious and repetitive one. You have to study the same thing again and again, revise the same thing again and again. At times, you'll definitely be frustrated, you will be disappointed, you will be irritated, you will be demoralized, you will feel like, what am I doing? Why am I studying all these things? Is it even necessary? You will feel all these things. As I told you, this is a year-long process. So you have to realize that. You have to realize that this is a year-long process. It's a tough process, and you have to get through that. So this is the reality number one. It's a year-long process, and there would be peaks, there would be lows. At times, you would be feeling great, you would be feeling demotivated, and all these things. That is going to happen. Reality number two. What is the reality number two? Reality number two is simply that all the candidates, you're not the only one who is facing the problem. So never ever think that you are alone. You're not alone in this universe. You're not alone in this preparation. There are like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh people who are also preparing along with you seriously. So you are going to, so always remember one thing. You're not alone. There are a lot of people who are facing the same problem. Those who have cleared this examination, they have also faced the same problem in their preparation time also. Like my friends who are again appearing for this examination, they're still facing the same problem of high A's and all. Because no matter what rank you have scored, secured. For example, if your rank 1 also reappears the examination, he will be facing the same problem again and again. So that's the point. No matter what your rank was, no matter how much marks you have secured, ultimately, because this examination again, once the final phase gets over, and this examination again takes you back to the first stage itself, preliminary stage itself. So again, it becomes a challenging job for all the candidates who are appearing. So never think that you're alone in this game. So these are the two realities. So like we have discussed till now we have discussed what are the what do I mean by consistency, the realities of the examination. Now we'll move towards the main, the main aspect of the session, that is how to fight it, the finding the solution, how to maintain the consistency. So as I said, consistency is discipline. Consistency is your focused approach. Consistency means you have to stay focused, you have to stay disciplined on all those things. So first thing first, I would like to say that I will draw an analogy between, if you are a fan of cricket match or anything, just when it is a long-term process like test cricket, I'll take an example of test cricket. There's something called switched off and switched on. So you have to be switched on when you're studying really hard. You have to be completely focused, disciplined. You have to give your all-out effort. And you have to be switched off when you're not studying. Just relax. Just keep your mind away from the study itself. That helps. That helps a lot to maintain the momentum, maintain the consistency throughout the phase. That is just it's a small observation that I made from my preparation. So coming back to the solution. So solution number one, how to maintain consistency, is that you have to have minimum sources, maximum revision. Now, what do I mean by minimum sources and maximum revision? See, as you know, all the toppers would say, like, again, before going into that, I would like to also say that, I am one of the person who have cleared this examination. There are many more before me who have cleared this examination. There will be many more after me who would be clearing this examination, and all will have their different strategies, different point of views regarding the examination. So never think that what I am saying is the only way out to clear this examination. And in fact, you also have your own strategies, your own preparation ways, your own perspectives regarding the examination. Because again, your preparation strategy, your every preparation strategy, your method, your approach to the examination all depends upon your perspective regarding the examination, your perspective of your own weakness, your own strengths, and that actually helps you to formulate a proper strategy and proper preparation. All I can do is give you insight, give you an idea about how to tackle few of the things, because these are mostly common things. For example, as I said, minimum sources, maximum revision. That is the thing that maximum toppers will tell you. Okay, we have to have minimum resources and maximum revision. So anyway, coming back to minimum sources, maximum revision. So why I said minimum sources? See, I remember one thing, like if you read like 10 books of economics or 10 books of polity, you are not going to gain any new knowledge. Remember that. You always have to keep in mind that whatever you study, you more or less the content are same. So like for example, APTI PLUS is providing that really good material. So if you read APTI PLUS material or you read some other books from market, you won't find a lot of differences. They're more or less same. So I would always recommend you, if you are in a coaching institute like APTI PLUS or any other coaching institute, or you happen to prepare by your own self from your home, doesn't really matter. It's not like you need coaching to succeed the examination for sure. You can do it without coaching, you can do with coaching. So that's your own area of comfort and discomfort. That's a different thing. I won't go into that. But my point is, whatever you're doing self preparation, you're doing coaching preparation, or whatever you're doing, just stick to one proper material. Let it be history, let it be geography, let it be polity, let it be economics, let it be anything, let it be any subject, even for the optionals also. Always stick to the basic and the fundamental materials and focus on a single source material. Don't go into like 10 number of books. And especially if you happen to be in Delhi, like in Delhi, you will find like n number of materials for n number of subjects. And for every subject, there will be n number of materials. Some guy will come, ye to acha nahi, ye to naya hai. And then other guy will say, ye to badhiya hai, don't read that. I mean, all those things. So that is complete nonsense. Don't listen to those things, those people and those source to shopkeepers and all. Because at the end of the day, it's just one book that matters. If you do them properly, if you have your conceptual clarity from out of that, if you read them properly, if you read in a focused manner, and if you make notes out of it, and if you revise them properly, you are good enough. No issues in that. So always stick to minimum sources. Minimum sources. No. I mean, I would go as far as I would say that you should try to stick as much as possible to only one single source to every subject, not more than one single source. And that is really beneficial. You'd realize that is really beneficial because it helps you to make your notes properly. It helps you to revise properly, and also it doesn't muddle your mindset. Like you will feel like ye padhna bhi, because again I would say UPSC is like I told you already. It's a mental battle. It's a mental battle. So you have to fight a mental battle. So you have to remember that it's very challenging at times. Mentally, it's very challenging. So the battle I'm talking about, the mental battle I'm talking about here is like we are all human beings, okay? So we all human beings have this tendency of accomplishments, have this tendency of feeling good when we accomplish something or when we achieve something. It might be the smallest of things. It might be the smallest of things, but it helps us keep motivated and all. So when you're reading from one single source, remember, it's a psychological issue if you think that if I read 2 books, I will gain more knowledge. No, it doesn't happen in UPSC. UPSC is a very basic examination. You have to realize that. There are a lot of hype surrounding it. But at the end of the day, it's a very basic examination. Your questions will be asked from very basic topics or very basic aspects of geography, polity. So that a common man should know. At least that is expected. That's why you're right. So you can read those books. You can read those things from a single source itself. You don't have to read like 3 or 4 books. It's a psychological thing, especially if you're in Delhi. Though you will see your friend, he is reading like Lakshmi. Another friend, he will be reading like D.D. Vasu. Another friend, he will be reading Kashyap, Subhas Kashyap book, and you will be confused. Sare padna hai. Do I need to read everything? No, obviously not. You don't have to read everything. It's just you will feel like everyone is saying the same thing again and again. You will feel like कि नहीं नहीं आज मुझे पढ़ना है, and you waste your time. So as I said already, why I said accomplishment and all. So once you have single source, you'll finish it. You'll make notes, small notes. Obviously, don't go on making notes like books. Just make small notes which will help you to recall stuff. Anyway, so once you finish that small single book, you'll feel accomplished. Then you solve MCQs, you write some questions, you'll feel more accomplished. And that thing will motivate you throughout your preparation. Remember that these small things always motivates you throughout the preparation. So rule number 1, keep minimum sources and maximum revision. When I say revision, I told you already. Revision is a completely necessary thing. You cannot just ditch revision. So, it is necessary. Why? Because even if you have minimum sources, we are humans only. We are not computers. We don't have a storage capacity, RAM or something. We have storage, but we don't have storage like the computer, like 2 TB RAM, and you store your information there, and whenever you need it, you access it. It doesn't happen like that. We are human beings. We have other things to worry about. We have our family, we have our friends, we have many things we have to worry about, our own life. So, and this UPSC preparation just forms a very small part of our life. If you realize that a whole life of 60-70 years, it hardly constitutes like 1 year of your, not even 1 year, like hardly you read take 6-7 hours a day, and majority of the time also you're not even studying. And that is the fact, that is the reality that you have to face. So the point is that, that's why revision is important, because let's say you have studied politics, it's inhuman to, not inhuman, sorry, it's not possible to remember all these things, whatever you have studied in history, geography and all, without revision after 2-3 months. After 2-3 months, you might remember it after a month or 2, but after that you will tend to forget. So you need revision. And as I said, revision again is a way to keep yourself motivated. Like you will feel like you're doing something, you're finishing stuff, and you're on the right track. These are the things that will keep you on the right track. Consistency, you have to be in the right track all the time. And these are the things. There is nothing no right track for UPSC. These are the small things that is the right track. Like revising stuff, and you'll be remembering things. Like मैंने ये पढ़ा था, and that will happen if you revise it again and again. And for revision, my suggestion would be make small notes. Don't ever go on by making like big notes, like just writing down the whole book. That is not necessary. That is waste of time. That is completely waste of time, and you won't gain anything out of it. Just make notes such that after a week or so, when you again just go through it, you will recall, ये मैंने पढ़ा था and all. And for maximum out of revision, I would suggest you to go through weekly revisions. Again, I will go back to the term called accomplishment of human psychology, human mind, accomplishing things. So if you do it weekly, you will, feel like, and you will hardly use up 2 hours, So you will feel accomplished, you will feel good about yourself, you will feel achieve something, you will feel motivated. If you do monthly revision, what happens? First of all, your knowledge will be less. And in less in the sense not knowledge, whatever you remembered, that information, you won't be able to remember everything. My point is that you won't be able to remember everything after a month, but after a week, more or less, you will be able to remember most of the things. That is the advantage. So what that does, that helps you to be in touch with the subject that you have already finished, first of all. And Second thing that helps you to be in touch with all the subjects. Okay, that is the first thing. And second thing, it helps you to be motivated, and because you feel like, okay, मैंने तो ये खत्म कर दिया और मुझे अभी ये भी आता है. After a week also you have the knowledge, and if you do it like every week, first week, second week, third week, fourth week, and at the end of the month also you revise the whole thing that you have done in the whole month, you will feel like you'll feel connected to the examination. It's all about that mental battle I'm talking about. You always have to be in that examination mood all the time. So that can only happen if you revise frequently also. कितना 1-2 घंटा जाएगा, you will feel that यार बहुत टाइम नहीं, 1-2 घंटा जाएगा maximum, and you will realize how beneficial it is. How beneficial it is to help you keep motivated and help you to maintain consistency. How beneficial it is. You don't realize right now, but you will realize that if you do it. And then after a month, you do again another revision. So by that, you won't lose a lot of stuff. Okay. Like mostly what happens after the month, if you do, then memories, there are a few things that will go away automatically. Then you have to put a bit of more effort. इसमें क्या होगा, you won't put a lot of effort. Remember, you won't put a lot of effort, and you would be more or less remembering all the stuff that you have studied. And that is the biggest benefit of doing weekly revision and making and frequent revisions. That is the first thing. And as I told you, making short revision notes, which will help you to recall. And third thing I would like to say is, in this revision notes, always make sure whatever is mentioned in the syllabus, you prepare every terminologies, especially for mains. Each and every keyword should be prepared properly. Make a short notes, make a chart, make a diagram or something like that, and prepare them well. Prepare them very, very well, thoroughly, well, and revise them again and again and again. Revise them again. What it does, how it helps you, like you have finished your minimum sources, you have finished, you've done maximum revision. But see, there are a lot of things that might not be available in that book. For that, you don't go around and buy books. You simply Google them, make notes of them, and again keep on revising them. Again, as I said, sense of accomplishment. You will feel, yes, मैंने तो सारी चीज खत्म कर दी. And that is very important for this in this examination, to have that feel good factor all the time. All the time you should have that feel good factor, and that will happen if you keep on, as I said already, revision and preparing preparing everything, every keyword. That these things helps you a lot. Remember, these things helps you a lot. Then moving on from here, from maximum minimum sources, we'll go towards like already we have already mentioned about accomplishment and achievements, how we how much we need that. So in that aspect, I will again move towards another thing, that is maximum practice, question practice. Your means related questions, your prelims related questions, and how does it help you? How does it help you? I'll tell you. 1 minute. Sorry for the interruption. So again, coming back. So as I said, practicing the questions, MCQs and mains questions. So like why it is important? Okay, some people may have the complaint, sir, इतना तो सर हमने पढ़ा नहीं है, and कैसे करेंगे? And see, never think that you have to solve question only after completing everything. You can simply solve questions as and when you're finishing a topic, and it actually helps you to keep you motivated. Like I'll tell you why. For example, like I have given mains 3 times. Okay, I've cleared the mains 3 times: 2013, 14, and 17. Like in 13-14, I was mostly busy in completing syllabus and all, because I had less time and all, because I'm just a fresh graduate. In 17, I didn't have a lot of things to be studied. So, of course, as I told you, it's a mental battle, and it's important to keep your preparation very diversified and all. I mean, as I told you already, it's a repetitive preparation. You'll be doing the same thing and again and again. After a while, you'll get bored. But still, listen, just because I've cleared mains paper doesn't mean that I'll again clear it with a good marks. So I decided I have to do something or else again, if I don't do anything, then I'll score less marks. But I was already bored with the repetitive nature. So what I did, I got a booklet. I got a booklet. So it has like last 25 years questions and 30 years of questions regarding mains. So I got a booklet of last questions having last 25 years of mains questions. So I do agree that except for last 4 or 5 years, most of the questions before that, sorry for the interruption. So yes, I got a book last 25 years question booklet of mains. So I do realize that, I mean, you would also agree with me, is that except for the last 5-6 years, most of the questions are not very relevant for current preparation. But I'll tell you why they are relevant. I mean, people might think that they are not very relevant, but I would say they are very relevant. Why? It helps you to revise your basic stuff. Like I told you, like you can do revision. There are a lot of ways to revise things. And one of the ways to revise things is by solving questions. And it also makes you feel actually doing something productive. Like feeling that accomplishment. Ki yes, मैंने याद कर दिया, मैंने ये कर दिया, मैंने वो कर दिया. And remember one thing: no matter what people say, just because they are asking analytical and all this complicated stuff nowadays, doesn't mean that. Remember, that doesn't mean that basic is not needed. Obviously, basic is the foundation of every answer that you write. So basic stuff you have to have some knowledge on that, and you need to revise those basic stuff. So those last 25 years questions helped me not only to it brought a new perspective to my preparation. I was just writing answers and all. It also helped me to revise stuff. So that's why question and answer writing is very important. Like you don't have to solve last year's papers, like 1-2 year back a paper, which will have much tougher questions. Rather, you should solve the basic stuff. Like for example, if you've studied Article 370, just go and search previous year's question first. After write down the basic question. What is that? Do you mean method? There's a 370 article and all those things. And once you gather more information and more perspectives on Article 370, you start on writing the analytical questions. So that is one way to practice questions, and that is very much needed, I feel, to revise your stuff also. Another way to practice question is like practicing daily from websites like ISGAN. Like how it helps you. Again, ISGAN also have topic-wise questions, and that is mostly from newspapers. So, for example, what I used to do, like during my preparation also, I never had the opportunity to write a lot of test series. So what I used to do when I used to read a newspaper and all. Okay, I'll read a newspaper, I read an editorial and everything. I'll just simply read it, and then I'll write a question on that editorial. It helps you to remember things. So similarly, if you solve questions from websites like ISGAN, it helps you to keep remembering those editorials and all. So again, like it's not just about studying. Also, you remember, current affairs kitna bada part, it plays a huge part. You read 1 or 2 newspapers, The Hindu or Indian Express probably. You gather all the news and everything out of there, and you note them down. You revise them weekly or all. But yes, you will revise them weekly and all those stuff. I don't understand that. But if you daily practice the questions related to those editorials, that will help you more and more. That will help you more and more, and that will help you to achieve consistency in the examination, in this examination process. That will help you to keep you, that will help you to be motivated throughout this examination page. See, now what will happen? There are people do in various manners. Some people read newspapers, some people read magazines. And everyone has their own ways to do. My way of doing was always like this: reading newspaper and solving, because it helps you to just lessens your burden. Like I'm a person who can study for like more than 5-6 hours daily. So that I knew it is my weakness. I can't study for a long period of time. So what I used to do, but I can study for long days of time. I mean, long day as in, for for more than a month at a stretch I can study. And there are 2-3 ways to prepare. One way people say is you study for like 4 or 5 days thoroughly, focused in a focused manner. Then you suddenly take 1-2 days break. That is also that is also good. But what I used to do, 4-5 hours daily in a fully focused, disciplined manner, and make it a long-term process. I can study up to for a whole month without getting bored or tired if I'm doing the right things again and again. After that, a month you can take a break, but in general, that was my way to do. So for me, writing these questions and all that helped me keep motivated. Okay, because I knew whatever I'm studying, I'm remembering it, and that is a very good way to be motivated to achieve that consistency that you are looking for. So that is one thing I would suggest. Writing questions, either from ISCAN or from any means booklet or even prelims question booklets. Again, you would read something, you just do some MCQs. You will feel good. Try that. You will feel really good. Honestly speaking, you'll feel really good. And again, as I told you, everyone has a different way of preparation. Like questions on editorials, everyone has a different opinion. But my opinion is that if you do it daily, it just lessens your burden. And if you're a person like me who can't study for more than 5-6 hours daily, but you can study for like a month at a stretch, then this is the way to go. So question practice is a very essential part to be motivated and to maintain that consistency in the examination. Then also I would like to discuss upon the preparation that I told you, focused. Consistency means you have to be disciplined and focused whenever you're studying. I told you already, switch off and switch on. So whenever you're studying, you should be completely focused. What do I mean by that? For example, I'll give you 2 examples. First example is let's say there's a person X. He sits on the table for like say 10 hours or 12 hours, but hardly utilizes like 4 or 5 hours out of that. Of course, the person is going to be frustrated. After 3-4 days or a week's time, he or she will be frustrated, and his or her grasping abilities also would be lesser. Compare that to another person who sits only for 5-6 hours and studies the whole time. He or she will be much more confident after a week, because he or she knows that ये तो मेरा weakness है, but I can't study for a long period of time. But my strength is that I can study consistently for 5-6 hours. That is very important. And see, this is a thing that you have to make your strength, no matter who you are. Even if you're studying for 2 hours or 3 hours, you have to focus properly. You can't relax on that. You can't relax by saying, "Arey sir, nahi ho raha hai. I'm trying my best." No, it doesn't happen like that. Okay, you can't give excuses. If you are giving excuses, there is no point in preparing. I'm telling you. Don't do haphazard preparation. Do full-fledged preparation. Do fully focused preparation at any cost. At any cost means any cost. So this is a thing that you have to keep in mind. Focused for whatever amount you're studying. Even if you are studying for 4-5 hours, just stay focused for the whole 5 hours. And you will feel the difference. Like, for example, I would like to tell those people who study sit for 10 hours, hardly study for 4 hours, try this. I know it's a psychological thing. 10 घंटा वो बैठता था, नहीं होता ऐसा. That doesn't happen like that. I used to study for 5 hours. That is enough to get you through the exam. If you studied in that 5 hours properly, you just sit down and fully focus on that 5 hours. Study for 4-5 hours, fully focused. And you will feel that change. You will feel refreshed. And after a week also, you won't feel demoralized, demotivated, because if you sit for 10 hours, if you're not even studying properly for 6 hours also, hardly utilizing 60% of the time, most of the time you would be remembering that I 10 घंटा utilizing. And actually that also makes you tired. You will feel exhausted, you will feel tired, and you want to take a break after a week or so. So suddenly you will feel that मैंने तो कुछ किया ही नहीं है, and you will be feeling frustrated. Whereas if you study only for 6 hours properly, you will not feel tired. So you can go for longer period of time, you can go up to for longer days in the month rather than longer period of time in a day, and you will feel confident because you know you're studying for 5 hours, but you're utilizing them properly. So you will have more confidence than a person who sat there for 10 hours but hardly studied for 6 hours. And this is all a psychological thing. See, probably both the persons have finished the same thing. On end, maybe because that other person who has sat for 10 hours had low confidence will be remembering less things. Again, as I told you, it's a mental battle. It's a mental challenge. It's a funny game. You have to realize that. And these are the things, if you can overcome this, you will be able to maintain consistency in the examination. And like there are different ways, as I told you, like maintaining like focused approach. Some people study for like 5-6 hours daily for longer, like me. And some people, they study like 10 hours day, proper fully focused, but for 5-6 days, then take 2 days break. Both of the things would fine, as long as it will have your confidence is up, your motivation is up, your determination is up. But again, see, after saying all these things, there will be time you will be feeling more frustrated, more demotivated and all. And that time, in those times, I would suggest, preparation is not going to help you a lot. Rather take a break, chill, relax. If you have some hobby, just pursue that for a while, for 1-2 days. Stay connected with your friends, with your family, with your spouse if you are married, or with your girlfriends or boyfriends if you are not married. Just make sure you're connected to a person. You stay connected to a person. That actually makes you feel good. At the end of the day, you're all humans. You're no superhumans or anything who can study for like a long period of time and do not feel motivated and do not feel depressed and do not feel frustrated. That's not going to happen. As I said, that is the reality of this examination, and you have to keep that in mind. But if you are staying connected with your friends, with your family, with your spouses and all, you will at least you're not alone. They will be keep on motivating you. Always be positive in your approach. That is another way to always, like, no matter how, like, remember when you join the service also, there will be failure most of the time rather than success. Like I remember there was one interview of Rahul Dravid, Indian middle test batsman, Rahul Dravid. He was saying that if you're a 50 average player, most of the time you have seen failure than success. And that is true in every aspect of life. Most of the times you would be seeing failure than success. But you have to make sure that whenever you are getting success, you make it count. As simple as that. Nothing else. Rest, there are a lot of things that is not in your hand. Even after doing all these things that I've told you and even doing something extra that you might think that is right for yourself, you still might not clear this examination. But let me tell you a few things. First of all, there are things other than your hard work, determination that is in play in this examination. And there are things that you can't control. So if you stop worrying about things that is you cannot control, you will be much more happier. You will be able to prepare much better. If you keep on, wondering and keep on getting frustrated about things that you cannot control, you will never be able to do well. Because again, in a way or two, after a while, that will pull you down. That will drag you down to the bottom. Rather than that will never push you to the top. So, keeping a positive mindset, feeling, relaxed and all, that is very important in this examination. I know it's very difficult, but you have to do it. There is no other way out. You have to stop getting bothered about things that you can't control. How people react to a preparation, what people say about a preparation and everything, or what someone else studying. You can't control those things. You can only control what you can do. So just focused on that. Just stay focused on that and be happy with that. And eventually, let's say that it is a hard reality of this examination. Most of you guys are not going to get through. But remember, this is just a job. This is just an examination. That doesn't define you as a person. You learn a lot, but that will never define you who you are and what you can do. Maybe you are destined for much bigger things than UPSC examination itself. So never lose hope out of anything. And as I told you, examination is It's a mental battle. You have to face a lot of mental challenges. So always try to focus on that aspect. As I told you, be confident on your approach. Always be confident and have that full faith on yourself. Like, yes, I can do it. So always you should have confidence. Like, one of my friends told me that, like when you're preparing, okay, fine, you're not clearing this examination, so you try to change certain things. Changing is not an issue, but only change those things which is not working for you, but never change those things which are working for you perfectly out of panic. This examination requires tremendous amount of consistency in your approach also. Tremendous amount of consistency. Always have faith on your approach. Always have faith on your way of studying, the methods that you apply to clear this examination. Don't get swayed by just because X has said, X topper has said this, or Y topper has said this. Trust me, it doesn't work. Their methods are not going to help you. It's your own method that is going to help you. Yes, that will help you that will guide you to get through this examination. I'm not saying. But ultimately what will help you is yourself. You are the only one who can help yourself. So you have to keep remembering that thing. You have to keep remembering that thing. You have to always have faith on your own abilities and your own hard work and everything. That doesn't mean that you can be rigid. No, don't be rigid. Always be open-minded. Always be open to suggestions. If you think that certain is not working, certain things are not working, try to change it up in a proper manner. But don't change things that is also working. That is going to again create more problem. If you change those things, and then again you will create a mess out of the whole process. You will create a mess of the whole preparation. You will create a complete mess of things. Don't do that. Only focus on those things which is not working. Always be open to suggestion. Don't be rigid. Don't be rigid. At the same time, have faith on your own abilities, and own preparation strategies, and have that positive mindset. Be confident. Always be confident in your approach. Never be underconfident, like yaar main kar sakta hu, nahi kar sakta. No, you can do it. Definitely you can do it. Ultimately, you might get through, might not get through. It's a different thing altogether. As I told you, there are things that is out of control, but I can do it. And everyone can do it. Anyone can do it. That is very, very important. Be motivated. Another thing, and the last thing I want to touch upon, I'd say that always, when during the whole preparation, this thing has worked me. This actually was advised to me in my 2017 preparation by a friend. He told me that we should always be in that UPSC state of mind throughout our whole preparation. And I agree to it to a certain extent. Only when you're not, doing reading or anything, you should be switched off. But more or less, daily you should be doing something related to UPSC. Let it be question answer practicing. Like for example, there would be days you would be feeling like kya padhe yaar, ho gaya. Simply then what to do na? Do current affairs reading, do some editorial answer writing, do some mains question answer writing, do some MCQs, or do some optional answer writing. You'll feel good. After that day also you'll feel good. You won't feel depression. But if you don't study anything for 3-4 days, then after 3-4 days, अरे यार मैं तो पढ़ा नहीं यार, क्या हो गया, बर्बाद हो गया, I'm just gone, I have nothing else to do, what will I do, I've already lost 4 days, such a crucial period of time, etc., and that will again, that's a vicious cycle. So then again that will again force you to go through more depression, and you will lose another 4 days. So it's a vicious cycle. Like that you will lose 10 days and you won't know. Don't do that. Rather, just keep yourself occupied with something which is related to UPSC, even for 2 hours, 3 hours daily. It helps you. It helps you a lot. It helps you to maintain that consistency, to keep yourself motivated. So these are the things I would, I like to have. These are the things that I wanted to discuss with you in this session. Hopefully you will find this session useful for your preparation. And be strong, be mentally strong, you know, prepare well, and be mentally tough, be confident in your abilities. And in this, and also in this pandemic, I hope that you are safe, you stay safe, you take care of yourself, you take care of your health. Also don't let your don't make yourself sedentary. Rather, be active when you're not preparing. Walk around, run around, do some exercises. That also helps you to be motivated, to be positive, or do some yoga or something which will make you. Best thing is walking or running. That's the best thing. That will help you to. You have it feels like you have accomplished something. Human body, mind. You feel like you accomplished something. You will be fit, mentally fit, physically fit, everything. Eat right. Eat right and sleep right. Never ever sleep 3-4 baje सोऊंगे फिर 9 baje. It happens to many, but don't do that. Try to be as normal as possible and take care of yourself, take care of your family. That's it. Thank you everyone, and again thank APTI PLUS for giving this opportunity. Thank you.